I mean, what he's doing is, I mean, kind of cool. If he can continue to steal money and they match him the way they match him.
The Netflix matchup between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul delivered not just one of the saddest boxing events in history, but also what Floyd Mayweather called the fakest fight he had ever seen. And right in the middle of that questionable action, Tyson suffered a sudden health scare that rushed him to the hospital within moments. The boxing legend gave up 8 months of his life to secure a good payout on November 15th. He worked that hard, dropped many bad habits, and even took a serious health risk just to show up for the fight. That is why the court made him hand over a large portion of his earnings to the prosecutor as compensation.
In breaking news, streaming giant Netflix is being issued a class action in relation to the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. TMZ reports the lawsuit is over streaming issues and a breach of contract. Thousands of viewers claim they had trouble.
When talking about what happened, Floyd Mayweather asked why Mike Tyson and Jake Paul kept calling it a professional fight when it was even less competitive than an exhibition match. He shared his frustration with Mike Tyson, complaining about how sad it is for boxing that one of its greatest legends, who should be working to make the sport better, is the one damaging it with his own hands. That was no professional fight, and not even an exhibition, either. It was worse than both. So why did they call it that? There is so much to question. It just looked wrong from the very start.
I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him, more power.
He then told them to come to Las Vegas and break his records if they were really confident in their ability to draw a crowd. But he finished his statement by saying, "I trust Vegas not to approve such garbage." Still, there may be a small bit of jealousy from Floyd Mayweather, who has proven time and again that he has less pulling power than Mike Tyson when it comes to exhibition matches.
Time. You've had a chance to assess Jake Paul. What do you think of his boxing ability?
I think he's came a long way from YouTubing.
Keep in mind, Floyd Mayweather fought Jake Paul's older brother Logan Paul 3 years ago, and he plans to put together an even bigger match with Jake Paul 4 years after that fight in Florida. But now he has a problem. The first issue is that it seems very unlikely Jake Paul will ever pull such a large crowd again in his influencer boxing career, since the fight on November 15th left a lot of fans deeply let down.
Not play boxing. And there, Paul now. Not a lot of technique behind these punches, and Floyd Mayweather shelling it up. Of course, the fans.
There was a lot of real skill behind those punches, and Floyd Mayweather just blocked them all. The fans saw it too. It was very clear, even from the press events, that the main draw of the fight was Iron Mike Tyson, whose earlier exhibition against Roy Jones Jr. did so well that it landed in the top 10 highest-selling pay-per-views ever. So Floyd Mayweather would be badly wrong if he thinks Jake Paul is the key to boosting his own pay-per-view numbers in exhibition fights. Mike Tyson's own comments about Jake Paul's boxing ability are another reason Floyd Mayweather might need to look somewhere else. Jake Paul, who weighed almost 230 pounds when he stepped on the scale for his fight with Mike Tyson, would not only be heavier than Floyd Mayweather if they meet, but would also have a stronger boxing record than many of Floyd's exhibition opponents, such as Dave Olatunji, Logan Paul, John Gotti, and a few others. If Jake was a real threat to a Mike Tyson who weighed a bit more than him on fight night, then he would be very dangerous for Floyd Mayweather, who is not only smaller and shorter, but also throws lighter punches than the problem child.
And listen, I seen a YouTube of him at 16 doing weird dances. That's not the guy I'm going to be fighting. This guy's going to come, he's going to try to hurt me,
Floyd Mayweather first talked about wanting to fight Jake Paul before the match happened during an appearance on the It Is What It Is podcast. Mayweather had a lot of praise for Paul for agreeing to box Tyson, but not for the reason most people would think. What he is doing is kind of cool if he can keep stealing money, and they keep matching him the way they do. I cannot knock his hustle, Mayweather said. Those words fit Money Mayweather well, since he helped bring in a new age of boxing and promotion after agreeing to fight UFC star Conor McGregor in 2017. Mayweather said the realities of this digital era mean boxers have to do more of their own marketing on TikTok and YouTube, as well as agree to fights that some might call crazy, like the matchup between 27-year-old Paul and 57-year-old Tyson.
More power to him.
Champ, we appreciate your time. Yeah. No, we gotta give Nick, put the
promoter role is dying now. The fighter has to promote himself. That is the new boxing world, Mayweather said. Just hustle, man, just hustle. The respect Mayweather has for Paul does not seem forced. It comes across as real admiration for what he is trying to do. And at the end of the day, money is money for most people, no matter how it is earned. As for Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, it is more about how two kings cannot rule the same kingdom. And things got even worse when Mayweather put down Mike Tyson's mentor Muhammad Ali, and instead named himself the greatest boxer of all time.
Is Ali the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights? Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali when he only had 7 fights.
He can't take his kid to school by himself. And he's talking about he's great. He's a little scared man. He's a very small, scared.
The rivalry between these two boxing giants reached its peak at the WBC convention held at the Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada back in 2015. Gifted with bone-crushing power and a terrifying presence, Mike Tyson is without doubt one of the most frightening men to ever step inside a ring. With his famous peekaboo style, the legend moved side to side and ducked in front of his opponents before letting loose his trademark punches that when they landed sent his rivals falling hard to the floor.
In your life, any weight, any era, who would you have picked that you would have liked to fight the most?
Floyd Mayweather.
After a successful career, Tyson hung up his gloves and left the door open for Floyd Mayweather to take over and become the next star of American boxing. With scary speed and sharp accuracy, he began his career as Pretty Boy, then later turned into the defensive master known as Money. While the legend had amazing skills inside the ring, it was his bigger-than-life personality that drew the fans. Whether people wanted to see him win or lose, they tuned in to watch the chaos unfold. Even though he respected the greatness of the fighter from Michigan, Tyson took issue with the 4-division champion, claiming he was better than Muhammad Ali. The heavyweight called the icon out of his mind during an interview with UCN.
Love it. Why?
Huh?
You want to knock him out?
Well, I would love him before, and I wish he was my weight. He can't take his kids alone to...
So when the two met on stage, Iron Mike faked a punch at Mayweather, then laughed and walked away. But while most people would probably freeze at just the thought of the former heavyweight champion hitting them credit to the Hall of Famer, he did not even flinch. In the end, the former welterweight champion may have walked off that stage encounter with the bragging rights, but things might have been different if the 28-pound monster had decided to fully follow through on his swing. Born in a rough part of Brooklyn, New York, USA, Tyson grew up around violence, learning the skills he needed to protect himself in dangerous situations, and using his street experiences to become a fighter who could knock out anyone brave enough to step into the ring with him with just one punch.
To beat him, I don't care. It's just really hard to beat him. You know, the style that he employs, it's just really difficult to beat him in that particular style. It's just really, you know, I don't care, love him or hate him, he's a hard man.
Throughout his career, Iron Mike built a name for himself with his scary style in the ring, which made the idea of facing him without a referee to control the action absolutely terrifying. Using his tricky peekaboo style, the American moved and ducked in front of his opponents before landing the nasty shot that sent them spinning to the floor. With that in mind, his amazing athletic ability would have surely translated into street fighting skills if he ever needed them. But while he was a bulldozer, Floyd Mayweather was the complete opposite. Gifted with incredible reactions and a sharp boxing mind, Money made his opponents miss and then pay with his sharp punches. Even though he did not have the knockout power of Tyson, he still grabbed the public's attention with his smooth performances and cocky personality.
Well, I would fight him differently. I would fight a guy like Floyd differently if he was a heavyweight.
But in the end, weight classes exist for a reason. So it is no big shock that the former heavyweight king believes he could have beaten Mayweather in a street fight pretty easily. Mike Tyson thinks Floyd Mayweather would have won against him in a real boxing match if they had been in the same weight division. While the New Yorker is sure he would have crushed Money in a street fight, he is more than happy to admit just how good of a boxer Mayweather really was.
Of course, because of the weight difference, but I wouldn't fight him the way they fought him. It's just hard to fight him. I would be mean, I would be dirty, because you would have to do everything to fight him because he's just so good.
What is remarkable is that the combat sports icon admits he believes if they had been in the same division, Mayweather would have come out on top. Tyson confessed, "If I was his size in the ring, he would outpoint me." In the end, no matter who would have won in a made-up fight, it is fair to say both men have locked in their spots in the boxing history books. Ultimately, weight classes exist for a reason.
You can't fight, it's almost impossible to fight him clean. It's almost impossible to win
Canelo,
fight and fight him clean.
When
you can't
see
fight
the
clean
fight,
with
you'll
him.
see Canelo wasn't exactly clean in that fight.
You can't fight this guy clean. That's the credit on how masterful he is.
So with a huge size advantage, the East Coast fighter would no doubt step into a street fight with Mayweather as the clear favorite. The relationship between two boxing legends from different eras, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather, was very complicated.
That same drive and willpower and be willing to...
The two respect each other, but they often disagree and go back and forth. No one can say they share a very strong bond, but one thing is clear: there is a line between them that both maintain. On an episode of Hot Boxing, the well-known actor Jason Lee tried to find out why, even though they are two of the greatest fighters ever, the pretty boy and the baddest man on the planet are not close friends. Lee said since both are humble guys in private, what was stopping them from becoming good friends? 19. To which Lee answered privately, "I think so. I mean, with me he is humble. I feel like I have a very humbling effect on people. I do not know, I just kind of thought of you guys. I thought there would be a clique of champions just hanging out." After listening to the actor's opinion, Tyson gave a very careful answer. "I do not know, sometimes I do want to click with him, and then sometimes I say, damn, we are two different kinds of guys, that is just how it is." As Tyson explained, right now both stars are retired. Tyson, who is 58, ruled the heavyweight division twice. He still holds the record for being the youngest heavyweight champion ever.
It has to be for him to be that successful.
On the other hand, the best ever became champion in 5 different weight classes. Astonishingly, he retired with a record of 0 losses and 0 draws. As of now, Mayweather is focusing on his business projects and exhibition fights. Meanwhile, Tyson keeps himself busy with his podcast and has also launched several business ventures, the most famous being his edibles company that makes Mike Bites. It was in the middle of all this that the Mike Tyson vs. Jake Paul fight was born, a fight that showed the world there is no such thing as a special 58-year-old Mike Tyson, only one that had aged like everyone else.
That same drive and willpower and be willing to put in the time and work. That's really the discipline, to do what you hate to do, but do it like...
Even though Mike Tyson had a lot of good things to say about Jake Paul and sent warnings to his next opponent, the highly anticipated fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul turned into a humiliating show by the 58-year-old boxing legend. After 8 rounds, Jake Paul was named the winner by unanimous decision, with a huge lead on the judges' scorecards. The loss to Jake Paul marked the 7th defeat of Mike Tyson's career. Jake Paul, a 27-year-old social media star, beat a 58-year-old man with a long history of health issues, both physical and mental, inside a boxing ring late on Friday night.
I confront it, and that's my personality. Like right now, I'm scared to death. But as the fight gets closer, the less nervous I become, because it's reality, and in reality, I'm invincible.
The fact that Mike Tyson lost so clearly on points was supposed to give Paul some sense of realness in the tough business of boxing, but in the end it did not matter much. Tyson is the former world champion who in the mid to late 1980s spread fear and amazement as he stormed through the heavyweight division. But in the final days of 2024, Tyson was trying to overcome years of damage from too many drugs and too much drinking, as well as recent serious problems with a bleeding stomach ulcer and bad sciatica. Paul received the unanimous verdict with 2 scores of 79-73 and a shutout of 80-72.
Now throwing a jab hook right hand, followed by hook. The last hook was cool. With a real power shot.
Tyson is the former world champion who in the mid to late 1980s spread fear and amazement as he stormed through the heavyweight division. But in the final days of 2024, Tyson was trying to overcome years of damage from too many drugs and too much drinking, as well as recent serious problems with a bleeding stomach ulcer and bad sciatica. Paul received the unanimous verdict with 2 scores of 79-73 and a shutout of 80-72.
One knockout left in his arsenal.
Winner by unanimous decision, Jake!
Sold-out crowd at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas was strongly behind Tyson early on. 90 minutes before the ring walks, footage of Paul arriving got only a quiet buzz. But then Tyson walked slowly to his locker room with his jacket showing his famous old boxing nickname Iron Mike, and the huge long cheer was oddly touching. Jake Paul and his brother Logan were driven to the ring in a custom Chevy lowrider instead of making the fighters do the usual walk to an old Phil Collins song.